Very good morning, friends. So, I hope you're all safe and healthy. Well, in the series of the videos on Index 113 dealing with fair value measurements, in the previous video, I was talking about the introduction to the fair value measurement, looking at basically when does Index 113 gets triggered. Now, in this particular video, what I'm going to deal with is what I call the concept builders. I am not really interested in taking you to the definition at this stage. It's very risky to take you to the definition of fair value at the very start. So what I'm basically doing, before I touch upon the definition, though I would, a bit come to the definition today, but not exactly in detail, but I would come to the definition later. But there is one particular concept, which we keep hearing in terms of Index 113, and that is that fair value is a market-based measurement. We use the word market-based measurement, and it is not an entity-specific measurement. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to deal with this particular concept. What do you mean by that it's a market-based assessment and not an entity-specific measurement? Let's find out. अनअकैडमी पर शुरू होने जा रही है 2 जून से केस स्टडी सीरीज, और इसके अंदर हिंदुस्तान के टॉप एजुकेटर्स अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स में आपके साथ इन केस स्टडीज को लेके जुड़ेंगे. मैं आपके साथ फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग, रादर मुझे कहना चाहिए GFRS, जो आपका इलेक्टिव पेपर है. हालांकि फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग के बच्चे भी इसे अटेंड कर सकते हैं, और ये केस स्टडीज़ आपकी 2 जून से अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स में शुरू होंगी. तो मैं लूँगा GFRS पर केस स्टडीज़. ऐसी सतीश मंगल सर लेंगे डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस पर, सचिन गुप्ता सर SCMP पर, और अमित पोपली सर लॉ पर, खुशबू सानवी मैम ऑडिट पर, महेश गौर सर इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस पर, और राहुल मलकान सर SFM या आप कह सकते हैं रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, इन सब पर केस स्टडीज़ लेंगे. तो 2 जून ऑनवर्ड्स अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स की केस स्टडी सीरीज शुरू होने जा रही हैं. तो किस बात का इंतजार है, आइए लेट्स क्रैक इट. Well, as I said, I'm not dealing with the definition of fair value in this particular video, but I think still I want to show you the definition, but I'm going to focus on only one area of the definition. What I've done, I've actually highlighted and I've put some things in the brackets and underlined a few things in terms of the definition, but I'm not dealing with the definition in detail. So let's read what is the definition. Though this is not the definition, but this is something which is given regarding when you measure the fair value, then what do? It says a fair value measurement assumes, the word is very clear, assumes that the transaction, now when you say the transaction, there are two kinds of transaction. One is that you are selling an asset or you are transferring a liability. When you compute a fair value, the fair value involves the measurement of a fair value of an asset or the measurement of the fair value of a liability. So there are two transactions we are looking at. It could be a sale of an asset or it could be a transfer of a liability. Now I'm using the word sale and transfer, that I'm going to come to that later. It says that it takes place in the principal market. The focus is on the word market. Or in the absence of a principal market, it is the most advantageous market. Well, today I'm not looking into, what is a principal market or what is a most advantageous market. That is going to be my next focus of area. My focus of area is purely on the word market, that when you measure a fair value, it says the fair value measurement is done, that the transaction takes place in a market. Now that market could be a principal market or it could be a most advantageous market. Now, let me elaborate this concept. Now, before I explain the concept of that it's a market-based measurement with an example, I think I just need to quickly take you to the definition which is given in Appendix A to 113, Index 113, that what is a principal market. It says the market, the word is again the market with the greatest volume and level of activity. So the key focus is that we need to calculate a fair value from a market which is called a principal market. And that principal market is supposed to be, where the greatest volume and level of activity is traded. I think to connect all this, let's see an example. Well, you can see that there are a total of 3 markets, A, B, and C. And the price of the fruit per box is given in 3 markets. I've also given the transaction and the transportation cost related to each box, though I'm not concerned with that at the moment. And you can see the last 2 columns, which is the most important column. One of the second last column is entities volume. It says entities volume for the asset in the market. That means the given entity is selling in the market ABC. So they sell 60% in market A, 25% in market B, and 15% in market C. But then you can see the last column, it says that it is the market based volume. So now I am not looking at, that what is sold by this entity. I am looking at that market A is dealing with 15% of this product. So if I were to look at this particular asset or a liability, we can say 15% of the volume related to this asset is traded in market A. 75% is traded in B and 10% is traded in C. So now the most important thing is I am not looking at the entities volume. Mind the word, I'm not looking at the entities volume. I'm looking at the market volume. So when you say that the fair value measurement is supposed to be a market based and not entity specific, so I am not going to look at that this entity in question is selling what volumes in the given markets. My focus point of attention is that what is the market volumes of these particular market. So my fair value determination in this case, if I look at which is the market where there is a greatest and highest volume being sold from the market point of view, I would say it is the market B. Though you can see that the entity has got its greatest volume in terms of market A, but I'm not concerned that where the entity achieves the maximum volume. I'm concerned with that, in a given market, which is the market which sells the greatest, highest volume. So my fair value determination is going to be guided with the market-based measurement, that is market B, and not specific entity, that is market A. So this is what we mean when we say that the fair value measurement is supposed to be market-based. Look at the market volumes and not entity specific. Don't look at the volumes of the entity. So that was the concept builder 1 on the concept of fair value measurement. Wait for some more interesting videos coming in for a conceptual clarity on this particular standard. Thank you, take care, and bye-bye.